Clover hasn't slept properly in a year. You can tell just by looking at her. There's a kind of grief that doesn't cry anymore. It just sits behind your eyes like a stone, and that's exactly what she's carrying. Her younger sister Melanie went missing 12 months ago, and the last anyone ever heard from her was a shaky video message sent from a gas station in the middle of nowhere. No explanation. No goodbye. Just gone. So Clover does what any desperate person does when the police give up. She goes looking herself. She ropes in her ex-boyfriend Max, her best friend Nina, Nina's boyfriend Abe, and a girl named Megan who seems oddly calm about all of this considering what they're walking into. The five of them pile into a car and drive toward Glore Valley, a remote mining town that most people have never heard of and fewer have ever come back from. On the way, they stop at the same gas station from Melanie's video. And that's where they meet Hill, a gas station attendant who is just off enough that you'd notice it immediately. There's something wrong about the way he smiles. He tells them that people have a habit of disappearing near Glore Valley. He says it like a warning, but honestly it sounds more like a fact he's already made peace with. Clover files it away and they keep driving. When they finally reach the valley, the rain starts coming down hard. The kind of rain that closes roads and ruins plans. They spot an abandoned visitor center and decide to shelter there until it passes. Which, honestly, and I say this with love, is the kind of decision that makes you grip your armrest. But let's be real. If you're already driving into a cursed valley to find your missing sister, you've already committed. Inside the visitor center, they start exploring. It's the kind of place that feels wrong in a way you can't quite name. Dusty, empty, the electricity barely working. Then Abe stumbles onto something that turns the air cold. An entire wall plastered with missing persons posters. Dozens of them. And right there in the middle, staring back at them, Melanie's face. Nina, trying to feel normal, signs the guest book at the front desk. Clover keeps staring at her sister's poster. Then they find stairs going down. Because of course there are stairs going down. Below the visitor center is another structure entirely. An old house buried underneath, like the valley swallowed it whole. They split up to look around, which we all know is never the right call, but here we are. That's when the masked killer shows up. He doesn't announce himself. He doesn't monologue. He just starts picking them off, one by one, in the most brutal ways possible. Abe dies first, right there in the poster room. Then Nina. Then Max. Then Megan. And finally Clover herself, fighting until the very last second. And then everything goes dark. Then Clover wakes up, standing in the exact spot they started. Same time. Same rain. Same everything. Let that sink in for a second. She just watched her friends die. She just died. And now she's back at the beginning of the same night, like someone hit rewind on a tape. The others are confused. They have no memory of what just happened, but Clover does. She remembers every single second of it. This is where the movie locks in. They're in a time loop. Every time they all die, the night resets and starts over. But there's a twist that makes this genuinely terrifying. They don't get infinite chances. Someone back in that visitor center was keeping count, and they discover it almost too late. There are only 13 deaths total before the loop collapses, and they're trapped in Glore Valley forever. They burn through 2 in the very first round without knowing the rules even existed. The group tries to regroup, to use what Clover remembers to do better this time. But the valley isn't just running the same program on repeat. The second night, they take shelter in the visitor center bathroom and drink the tap water because it seems safe. It is not safe. The water causes them to explode, and I mean that literally, with grotesque, practical effects gore that hits like a truck. They all die again. As Clover is blinking out, she sees Hill standing there watching her, urging her to keep moving. Keep going. Figure it out. So the next reset, Clover comes back angrier and more focused. She tells the group about Hill. But there's no time to sit and plan, because each night the threat changes. What killed them the first night, the masked killer, the psycho, isn't necessarily what comes for them the next. The valley rotates its horrors like it's running a sick experiment. On one of the nights, things fracture internally. Abe panics and tries to abandon the group, which infuriates Nina. An argument explodes into something worse, and Nina wounds Abe with a pickaxe, not trying to scare him, actually trying to hurt him. The trust that holds a friend group together starts crumbling under the pressure of reliving death over and over again. And honestly, that part hit harder than the monster kills for me. Because that's real. That's what actually happens when people are pushed past their limits. They turn on each other. While Clover, Max, and Megan go searching through the woods that same night, Abe and Nina are murdered by the masked killer again. Then the three in the woods are attacked by something far worse than any man in a mask, Wendigos. Ancient, terrifying, moving wrong in the dark. Megan is killed in the attack, and then Clover and Max find something that stops them both cold. It's Melanie, but not the Melanie that Clover's been searching for. This version of her sister has already been taken by the Valley. She's turned into a Wendigo herself, barely recognizable, gone somewhere beyond reaching. The moment Clover realizes it is genuinely devastating to watch. She spent the whole movie fighting to find her sister, and her sister is right there, and she's lost anyway. Clover makes the hardest call of the entire film. She tells Max to kill Melanie so the night can reset and they can learn more. To get more information. To use this loss as a stepping stone towards something better. Max does it. The night resets, and Clover carries that with her. Over the next loops, the group pieces things together. The Valley's threats rotate through different horrors each night. The masked psycho, the exploding water, the Wendigos, a terrifying witch who shows up with her own brand of violence. Each night burns through their death count. The clock is always ticking. Megan, who has been quietly picking up on things the others miss, discovers she has some kind of psychic sensitivity in this place. She can read residual memories and emotions, feels things the Valley is trying to communicate. It's strange and unsettling, and makes her the most interesting person in that group by a wide margin. She's the one who finds footage on a phone, old videos from previous loops that the group lived through and can't even remember. And you feel the horror of that. There are entire nights they survived, choices they made, things they learned, and the reset just erased all of it from their minds. Clover is the only one who carries the memories forward. Eventually, Clover gets separated from the group in the mines below the Valley. She's pushing deeper, looking for any lever she can pull, when she finds her way up into the sanatorium, a decayed, abandoned psychiatric facility that the Valley seems to have kept preserved for reasons that are becoming increasingly clear. She finds Megan trapped in a chamber with a shackled Wendigo. She can't get to her without a key, so she keeps moving and finds Hill's office. Hill is sitting there, calm as ever, drinking coffee like a man who is nowhere to be. He puts his mug down on the desk, and the two of them finally have the conversation the entire movie has been building toward. He explains it plainly, almost clinically. Glore Valley has been feeding on Clover's fear like a battery. The horrors that keep appearing, every monster, every killer, every version of death they've encountered, they're all manifestations of her. Her guilt, her grief, her self-destructive tendencies. The exploding water? That comes from her. The Valley reads a person and builds a nightmare custom-fitted to what destroys them. And Hill? He isn't some innocent bystander. He's been in on it, running it, managing the experiment. He's been in this Valley for a very long time, watching people like Clover cycle through the loop until they run out of chances and disappear forever. Clover, in that moment, does something that I genuinely didn't see coming. She spots a water leak dripping from the ceiling. She quietly shifts his coffee mug so that it catches the drip. Then she keeps talking to him like nothing happened. Hill picks up the mug and drinks. He explodes. It's cathartic and disgusting and exactly right. With Hill gone, the last minutes of the final night become a flat-out sprint. The survivors tear through the sanatorium, trying to reach dawn before their death count hits 0. Every second matters. The Valley seems to know they've figured it out, and it pushes back harder. Clover has to hold together everything she's learned, everything she's lost, every reset she remembers, and the others don't, and use it all at once. When the sun finally comes up, they make it. They survive until dawn. The loop breaks. The Valley releases them. But the film doesn't let you fully exhale. In the final moments, we see Hill, not the exploded version, but Hill as he apparently always exists, sitting at a monitor in some backroom, watching camera feeds. And one of those feeds shows a car pulling up to a snow-covered lodge. A different lodge. A familiar one, if you know the video game this is based on. He whistles softly. Watching. Waiting. The Valley was just one place. He has others. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.